I had the design, and I had to find an engineer to build it for me. And I kind of knew what I wanted, and looking into it, I have to be able to control my own destiny. I can't rely on somebody else to feed me. I got to be able to feed myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really had to work for anybody. My goal was to eventually work for myself at some point, in some capacity.
Yeah, sure. It makes sense.
Yeah. So I think keeping that in the back of my mind, well, actually keeping that in the forefront, no matter what I did, knowing that was a goal of mine, I had to find a way, find a profession, find a methodology where I can work for myself and still support a family, or be able to support a family. I didn't have a family back then, but
right, yeah. So that evolved into
when I was doing anesthesia in Boston. We did a lot of liver transplants over there. A lot of high risk operations.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we did was we did operations in the chest where you require a breathing tube that has it's called a double lumen tube. You basically one tube, but one branch goes into one lung, another branch goes to another lung, essentially. But now you can collapse each lung separately, or you can make each lung breathe separately.
Okay.
To make operations easier. Well, at some point after the operation, you got to change that it's called a double lumen tube, to a single lumen tube. It's basically a blind procedure. So there's got to be a better way to do this. So I developed what was called a detachable bronchoscope. It's basically it's a scope with an eyepiece. It's usually one piece, and what they usually do was they put this down to people's lungs to check out, how the lungs are doing, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you had to change a scope, I thought it'd be great if we could just detach the eyepiece from the fiber optics. So now what you do is you have a tube in place, you slip the fiber optics through one tube, detach it, slip out the tube, reattach the eyepiece and make sure it's still in the lungs, take the eyepiece off, put the new tube in, reattach it and make sure it's still in the right place, and then take the fiber optics out. Now you have a secure location of this tube without any guesswork, where before it was completely blind. So that was the first product I sort of developed that had any kind of meaning to it. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I developed this product. And
that was something you created.
It was an idea. I didn't build anything.
Okay.
But my idea was that I need something that's more definitive, that can make it safer for the patient, and make it less stressful for the physician, to make sure that there's no guesswork involved in changing this tube, that this tube's going to be in the right place. So.